Good morning, athletes. Welcome to day 2 of Disco Fitness, live at the Barn Theatre in Cirencester. I'm David from CrossFit Cirencester, aka Disco.
And I'm Anna, and thank you for joining us again.
So today we've got another little workout ready for you. We're going to start off with those progressions from yesterday's session on our push-ups. So we're going to...
Absolutely. So we're just going to develop from what we learnt yesterday, and today we're going to focus on the bottom position and building that strength up a little bit. Some people find it really hard to drive out the bottom of a push-up.
Yeah.
So we're going to focus on that today a little bit.
So the session for us today, we'll go through our nice little quotes, we'll then go through our warm-up, bit of conditioning, and then the famous bit, the bit at the end, the Metcon, the metabolic conditioning, the bit that everyone likes, the bit we get hot and sweaty. As you saw yesterday, we were dripping all over the floor. It was like Bambi on ice, it was all slippery and horrible. Right, so your quote of the day. Be a unicorn in a field of horses.
I think there's a theme starting to happen.
Definitely a theme.
Unicorns. Right, should we get warm?
Yeah, so we're going to go through some stuff for the shoulders today.
Because they'll be quite tight from yesterday.
Yeah, and then we'll go through some stuff for the hips to make sure we get some stuff to mobilise our hips ready for the rest of the workout. So again, your legs might be a little bit sore after yesterday's jump squats. We can definitely feel them yesterday.
Yeah, and all those push-ups in your push-up test?
Right, let's make a start.
Yes.
So we're going to start with our prone shoulder sequence. So I'm going to lie on my front. I'm going to go through something called a surfer, W, Y, and
Shall I
T.
demo in your talk?
So Anna's going to go on the front. The surfer, notice that Anna's hands is a nice 90-degree position at her elbow again. We talked about yesterday, that vertical hand position, lifting the hands off the ground. This is about to pop up on a surfboard. We're going to go 10 reps. So let's try 10 reps for you guys.
Okay, that's 10.
The next position, we're going to slide the hands forward. Now Anna's elbows on the floor and the hands on the floor. Just imagine like a skydiver. It's a W shape through the body. We can lift the hands and the elbows off the ground. So this is working through the shoulders. So elbows and hands touching each rep. Again, 10 is our target. So some of you have done YMCA the dance. Disco Fitness, here we go. Y's, it's a Y shape through the body. Again, Anna's keeping the shoulders down, lifting the hands up. Some of you might be challenged by this range of motion. This kind of depth or this kind of height, in fact, is quite challenging for most people. Most people are limited in their range of motion in the shoulders. Let me finish up with the T's. So it's a T shape through the body. Notice that Anna's made a fist and she's pointing a thumb towards the ceiling. That makes sure the shoulder rotates fully in its socket. I'll go through a round now to make sure my shoulder's nice and warm.
So it's really important to do movements like this. But what we're actually doing is activating what we're about to work. So we're really working and focusing on all these muscles around the shoulder blade. So when we're in those push positions with the push-up, they're the ones that are going to be doing all the work. So we need to wake them up. And like David said, this will also challenge your mobility. So it is really, really good to put this in your routine to help mobilize those joints, especially if you have desk jobs. You'll find that you're probably really hunched, so it's going to help really pull them back.
Anna's in for one more set.
We're going again?
Yep, I think one more. So we're aiming for 3 rounds of 10 of each thing. So we get a lot of people that come in with little niggly shoulders sometimes for us in the gym. This is part of our prehab, so we'll do stuff like this to stop them getting shoulder injuries. Again, as Anna said, we get that position where we're sat at desks or on phones and things all the time now, particularly if we're at home in this social isolation, we're probably spending more time on our phones. The muscles in your back have probably become slightly lengthened and the muscles in the chest become too tight. So we're now activating those muscles in the upper back to ensure that everything's balancing out. Once you finish this last round,
That does burn after a couple of rounds.
yeah, if you're doing 3 lots of 10 of each thing, not back to back, that's quite challenging. So I'm going to lie down on my back and demonstrate the next one.
So you can imagine you're doing a snow angel. Imagine you're covered in snow. So David's going to reach up forwards, keeping his hands on the floor if you can. Then bring them back down, bending the elbows and back up. So it's almost like doing breaststroke, isn't it?
Yeah.
On your back. Imagine that swimming pool. But the challenge is to keep the hands on the floor throughout the whole movement. So you want to do 10 reps, David?
10 reps is good.
And again, we're just activating everything. We're getting everything fired on before we do the workout. We've got a little bit of a challenge movement coming up, haven't we, in our conditioning?
Definitely. Set of 10 for you. So again, I'll do this from an upright position so you can see what it looks like from an upright position. I'm here like a rugby goalpost, and then from there I'm pushing towards the ceiling, or towards the floor, ceiling now. Out round the sides, hinge at the elbow, and up again, overhead. So we're talking a moment ago about opening the chest up. This will open the chest up. It'll also activate those muscles in the shoulders that pull that shoulder girdle back. One more round for me.
Yep. So that's a good point to make. If they're unable to do it on the floor, they can do this against a wall.
Yep, most definitely.
So you've got options, guys. Always an option. Again, we're just challenging that range of movement.
The benefit to do it on the floor is obviously gravity will force your arms towards the ground. So that's the main reason we do it on the floor.
Right, you must be close now.
And we'll do that to 10. Well done.
Hips.
So the hips. So these look like funny exercises, but actually really, really valid, challenging movements. You can probably ask your parents about, what's her name?
Jane Fonda, is that her?
Jane Fonda and Lizzie, something or other from TVAM and Mr. Motivator. These kind of exercises were really popular back in the 80s, but Jane Fonda was probably the outright favourite for this one. So we're going to imagine you're a dog casually walking along the street, needs to go to the loo quickly and cocks a leg. So this is working the butt and all the muscles around the hips. So again, we're going to have 10 reps. So we're still in that nice solid position we had yesterday, that front support. Now going to be a slightly posher dog with a straight leg, like a ballet dog. Lifting that foot up, because dogs do ballet. So that kind of exercise, we want to make sure that foot is in line with the hip. It's very easy to start that foot drag down backwards. We want to try and bring that foot up in line with the hip. This next one, knee to chest and lift the foot up. So you imagine you're a scorpion's tail. This is the sting coming over the top. So again, it's still the same thing. It's still glutes activating, mobilizing that hip. Again, a lot of activation through the trunk. And the next one, we go knee to chest and then lift the leg up with a straight leg. It's a bit more mechanical, this one. So again, 10 reps of that one. I'm going to go to the sequence again, but side on. You guys will just obviously just switch legs.
Okay.
we're going to have a really strong right-hand side, Anna.
I know. So, if you find these movements quite challenging, don't panic, don't worry. Most people's hips are quite tight, would you say, David?
Most definitely.
So, just again, work to your own range. Don't worry if it doesn't look like this. As long as we're trying to improve. It's actually quite a good thing to make you aware of what you're actually going to be working in the workout, isn't it?
Yeah.
We talk about activation a lot.
Most people underactivate their glutes.
Yes.
Their butt just doesn't work.
It's a very lazy muscle, isn't it?
Ironically, it's the biggest muscle in your body.
Yes, so we need it. We need it to work. We need it to fire up. So last set of 10.
Final set of 10. And some of you will find that the balancing leg will get tired as well on this kind of exercise.
Oh yeah, definitely. Brilliant.
10. Right.
Conditioning.
Conditioning.
Oh, so we were talking about this challenging move. So we want to basically challenge the bottom position of the push-up. So we taught you the push-up yesterday. So this is working on getting that chest really close to the floor.
Very much so. This is
So it's called
a dive bomber push-up or Shaolin push-up. We talk about it as.
Do you want to demo?
I'll demo that now.
So David's going to start with his butt nice in the air and he's going to dive like he's swimming into a pool. The chest low to the floor and he arches up. Pushes his bum back and repeats. Chest to the floor and up. So, David, if you find these quite challenging, should we make them a little bit easier?
We're going to your knees. Shorten the levers. Exactly the same thing.
So we're just building on those foundations we learnt yesterday. The bottom position is a hard position to keep that tension and to find some power to push. So this is not only going to mobilise those shoulders a little bit better, also builds a little bit of strength.
And again, don't worry too much if you're not getting as close to the floor as I was. Just work to a range of motion that's challenging for you.
So
if it means you're 6 on the floor, 6 inches. If you're an inch on the floor, even better. The closer you are, the harder this becomes.
So we're going to do 3. 3 in this sequence.
That should be challenging enough.
So our second movement, once you've completed 3, is our shoulder taps. Demo those.
So I'll give Anna a chance to demo these. So our shoulder tap again with that front support we talked about yesterday. And Anna's going to tap the opposite shoulder.
This is too hard.
Down to the knees. Shorten the levers. Make it a little bit easier.
So when we come to do this for real, it will be 20 repetitions, either on your knees or on your toes. And again, following on from yesterday's lesson, we are helping to build the strength in that front support position.
Some of you just simply won't be used to holding your weight on your arms. So again, you might need to scale this one down to the knees if you're tired from yesterday's session.
And then our third movement and final one in this sequence
is an oldie, an abdominal curl, or just a normal sit-up. We call these military-style sit-ups, where you reach overhead, tap with all the hands, come all the way up, and tap your shoelaces. That's the standard we're looking for at the gym.
And if it's too hard, don't worry, just work to your own range. They can work from their thighs to their knees.
So you do a crunch rather than a sit-up.
Right, should we start this sequence?
Yeah, so we're going to go through 4 rounds.
So 3 of our diver bombers, 20 shoulder taps, and then 10 abdominal curls.
And at the end of the round, we're going to give you a little bit of a break, just to make sure you have a little rest, so you're not going to burn you out just in the conditioning part of the workout.
So this isn't
still
timed.
Have a Metcon to go.
Because this is no pressure though, this isn't timed. We're just going to work through these movements. So we'll start now, guys. 3 the dive bomber push-ups. On your toes or on your knees. Really nice.
I just feel a bit like a cat. I don't know why. A bit of a cat stretch.
Nice. So, shall I do the shoulder taps?
Shoulder taps from Anna.
So, hollow body.
So again, talked about yesterday, this hollow body position, squeezing the butt tight, squeezing the abs tight, and it's a steady tap. Doesn't need to be super fast. This steady tempo is actually going to benefit you more.
Okay.
That gives me the curls.
So again, work it to a nice, safe range. If you can, touch behind your head, all the way through to your shoelaces.
Some of you may prefer to anchor your feet, so you could wedge your toes under your couch, provided you're safe. And I totally lost count.
5 more.
I'll speed up a little bit.
Again, this is just building up, about strengthening those abdominal muscles, working on your range of movement. This is all going to help that press up position that we taught you yesterday.
So we're going to take a little breather now. You can watch the clock, give ourselves maybe 45 seconds rest.
Yeah, perfect.
And we'll go through the next round again in a moment.
Because these are quite strength-orientated movements, so you won't necessarily feel out of breath, but you'll feel fatigued.
Yeah, definitely. Particularly in the trunk, because everything gets through that trunk. So hope your bodies feel okay. Nearly ready to go again.
Round 2, you go.
Round 2. So hands on the floor, standby team. Dive bomb push-ups.
Feels a bit like you're in yoga class.
Yeah.
Right. Taps. Me do
taps.
10 and you do 10.
Okay.
Should we share?
Sharing the shoulder taps. So again, it's always shoulders over fingers.
Okay, you do 10 and I'll do the ab curls this time. Give you a bit of a break.
That's 10. So the shoulder tap's actually quite a nice little exercise. We do something called handstand walking in our competitions. This is one of our progression drills for that. So it starts to teach you those movements. Going to take weight on one arm and the other. So it's good, a good little progression for that. We want to get you upside down so you can do a push-up properly.
Okay, 2 done, 2 to go.
Have a little breather.
Yes.
So we're halfway. Body's definitely a little bit warmer now. Definitely feel the arms starting to work on those dive bomb push-ups. Again, don't be frightened to scale. The key thing is always technique. Make sure you scale before your technique starts to break down.
Shall I do a scaled version for the next round?
Yeah, we can do. If your technique breaks down, then it's really hard to come back from that because you start creating bad habits.
So
We're
ready?
also all about trying to perfect practice. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Round 3. Dive bomb push-up. This is the scaled version from the knees.
Okay.
Very good. Let me scale this one as well.
Yeah, sure.
So scale from this one, again, we said was on the knees. I'll do 10 and 10.
But just remember, we're just trying to keep this hollow body position, abs nice and tight. Okay, I'll go the ab curls again.
End of round 3.
Or do you want to do 5 and 5?
We can do 5 and 5, that'll be good. And again, I'll show you that scale version, remind you of the scale version again of these sit-ups.
That's 4, 5. Again, so again, we're just working to your own range, guys. One round to go.
One
That's
remaining.
3 done.
Good job. So again, about 45 seconds rest, and we'll hit that last round. You then get a little bit of a natural breather whilst we explain the workout to you. We'll have some fun with that one.
Yeah.
We're doing something today called a chipper.
Yes.
So those of you who joined us early on in the weeks and the previous sessions, we have done a chipper.
Yeah, we have. We did.
Week
Yep.
3?
Remember.
Week 2, I can't remember. Week 2 or week 3, we did a chipper there to explain what it was. Again, we'll talk you through that again in a moment.
Do our last round?
Dive bomb push-ups, here they come. Yeah.
Shall I do shoulder taps?
They get shoulder taps from Amma. I'll get in place, ready to go for these sit-ups. Last round.
Go. 10 sit-ups. You feeling that?
10's
You
fine.
don't. David doesn't like abdominal exercises. Nearly there?
8.
One more.
And we are done.
Well done, guys. So that's a little bit of strength work out the way. And now we're into the
chipper.
Metcon.
Yep.
Yes. Well,
Chipper time. So chippers are typically where we work down the board in sequence of exercises. So we've got a descending ladder. Yesterday we went up and down. Today we're going to descend in reps. So we're starting with the big numbers, quite high volume, 50 reps. Okay. And the first one's going to be a lunge.
Yeah, so I'm going to lunge. And then when I'm stable, I'm going to rotate my torso. Step back.
So always rotating over that front leg. So towards
lunge,
that side.
And I rotate.
So the reason I add the rotations, again, it will help challenge your balance.
Yes, absolutely.
And again, that's a major part of fitness is obviously stabilizing, getting that balance, as well as developing strength and endurance in your legs. That's 50 reps. That's quite high in volume.
Yes.
So some of you need to attack this probably in blocks of 10. So 10 reps, take a break, 10 reps, take a break. We're going to go through and tag team this workout. So you go, I go. We'll actually tag in and out and we'll share the reps between us.
So our next movement, so once you've finished 50, we'll move on to 40.
A tabletop. So it's 40 reps in this next movement. Again, your arms are a little bit tired from yesterday. So this is going to be quite challenging to the arms, which means we're going to make you work the butt a little bit harder. So lifting your hips up, so up like a tabletop.
Now for me, I really feel it on my arms.
Yeah, so Anna's feeling a stretch. Most of you guys will definitely feel the triceps getting tired
really
just holding
good for that, again, getting that strength in those arms.
So don't be frightened about where your hands go. Find a position that's comfortable for your hands. Just try a few reps now. Some of you need to do it with your fingers pointing backwards. Some need to do it with the fingers out to the side. Some be able to manage it with the fingers forward. Depends on where you're most flexible in your wrist. And again, if you haven't achieved the full range of motion, just getting the butt off the ground, it's still be quite a good challenge.
Absolutely. Right, so we've done 50, 40, now we're on to 30. So front loaded knee taps.
Okay.
So do the hardest version first?
I think we'll do the hardest one first, yep. So again, that nice, strong, hollow body position. Notice that Anna's now lifting your bottom up in the air, so we're doing a jackknife. So lifting the bottom up,
And
you're
if that's
tapping the opposite knee.
too hard, we just come down.
And there's still a small movement even on that knee leaning position. So you can still lift the butt up a little bit higher. So that's 50, 40, 30.
We're on to 20, dips.
Okay, so dips, we pulled the chair out for this one for today. You guys can do whatever you have available, couch, coffee table, step on your stairs, whatever you guys have available. This is probably a little bit too narrow for me,
Do you want me to do it?
but we'll give it a go.
Don't fall over.
So from here, I'm going to lower my butt down towards the floor and then push my arms up straight. Again, you've got all those push-ups in your arms from yesterday.
Yeah.
This one's going to be quite challenging, so you might need to break these reps down quite early on, so maybe blocks of 5.
Well, but why is it good? I mean, this is a brilliant move, an accessory move to making that press up really strong. You're going to get stronger from doing these dips.
Yeah, we're working through quite a long range of motion in your shoulder and your elbow. So again, this will definitely help with that bottom position in a push-up.
Oh, my favourite next, V-ups. So we're on to 10.
Okay, nice, simple. Number 10 reps on the V up. So there's loads of scales, and we've showed this one already as various scales. So we're going to go through the full thing. 2 hands and 2 feet. Those will make it a little bit harder. You can add a dumbbell if you have a dumbbell at home, or a bag of flour, or whatever you guys have.
So this is the easier option.
So 2 hands and 1 foot.
Or if that's too much, you can just come into a tuck position.
So notice what's happening is Anna's chest is coming off, or back's coming off the ground. So that's the key thing to that movement, is getting that elevation from the upper back. Still maintain that lower back on the floor, but get everything up as high as we can. So you're meeting them like a sandwich.
But what's that going to do? It's going to help develop these muscles here that we need for that press-up position.
And again, that hollow body is all about the abdominal strength.
Yes. So, should we go through it again? Let's recap. There's a lot to remember. So, we start with 50.
50 lunges, and that's that rotation lunge we showed you a moment ago.
So if I demo again, so we're doing 50 lunge and rotates into 40 tabletops. David, recap.
Butt on the floor, lifting your butt up.
30 front-loaded knee taps.
Tapping opposite knees, 30 reps. So each tap is 1.
20 dips.
Again, I'd say blocks of 5 this one.
And 10 V-ups. Right.
So we're going to put the clock on. The clock will count up for you guys.
6 minutes?
I think 6 minutes would be quite a challenging amount of time. They're actually quite fast movements, so we'll see how we go. 1, press the button, we should be ready to go. Just double check. 6 minutes on the clock.
Get ready, guys.
10 seconds. Lunges to begin. As I said, we're doing you go, I go, so we're tagging it out. If you have somebody else in the house you want to do it with, you can do this at the same time as well.
Let's go.
50 repetitions. If at this point it's too hard, make sure you let that knee touch the ground.
Yeah, I'll do that now.
So it's a bit more stable, easy to hold that position. Again, some of you might need to hold a chair to stabilize again for that lunge. We'll just work to a very shallow depth.
10s.
10 reps.
So a few coaching points just to think about, guys. Look at David's knee position. So make sure you're pushing the knee out safely between the second and third toe. You want it nicely tracking. We don't want the knee to come in. We want it to go out. Good work. It is quite challenging on your balance, isn't it, this one?
So again, in our session in the gym, we would obviously spend a lot of time doing these kind of movements because we do a lot of Olympic lifting. And there's one movement called a split jerk that we use for our Olympic lifts. That's a really big compound movement. That's where we can lift the most weight we can overhead. And it requires a lot of strength in this position.
That's 9, 10.
That's 30.
That's 30, 20 left. So another good coaching point is we want to keep the chest elevated. So when we activated all those muscles in the back earlier today, this is why. So David, keep that nice and squeezed. That lifts that chest up for you. 40, so
40.
that's 10.
And again, the more you lean forwards, the more you compress in your diaphragm, and obviously that helps your respiratory, so you're breathing. And if you're squashing that all up, you won't get as much air in.
9. Okay, tabletops.
Bring it, 50, good job.
40 tabletops.
So I think we're getting block of 10s.
So we warmed up the glutes earlier, and this is why again. So big squeeze in that butt as you lift up. Brilliant. So working a full range of movement, as high and low as you possibly can go. The 10.
And that's 10, well done. So for me, that exercise I feel mostly in my hamstrings, the back of my legs.
See, I feel this in my arms.
Must be close.
9, 10. I'll definitely feel it in these arms. Feels good though, feels good. Good stretch. So keep squeezing. Nearly there.
That's 10.
10 more for me.
Last 10 for Anna. Gets to finish up the set.
I think I'm gonna go faster. Makes it
Yeah, I would say not necessarily going fast, so make sure you get that squeeze at the top of the movement. Anna's trying to whiz this as fast as she can. It's uncomfortable.
Right, front-loaded knee taps. So, remember why we're doing this front-loaded position? Helps in that press-up position, getting it nice and strong, but still maintaining a good hollow. You doing 10?
Yeah, 7, 8.
So we've got 30 of these, haven't we?
Yep.
Is that 10?
That's 10.
Okay.
So again, even though we're doing that front-loaded position, it's still a nice little stretch for the hamstrings, as I was just training a moment ago. Still a lot of isometric, so muscles are contracting, we're not changing length in the arm, just holding your body weight.
It's 10. Gonna do last 10?
Yep, my pleasure.
Oh, and then we're into dips. Oh, time. 4 minutes. We might just do it.
Definitely.
Shall I do 10 dips? And then you do 10 dips?
Sounds good.
Okay. Leave me hanging then.
So bent legs makes it a little bit easier. It's a shortened lever. And again, working through a full range of motion. You can see it's 90 degrees at Anna's elbow, 90 degrees at the shoulder, and all the way into full extension.
Definitely feel that after yesterday's press-ups. So 10 more. Then
Don't
we're
fall off the chair.
Don't fall off the chair. Safety first.
Who gets to 250 pounds from using frames?
Oh, we're on 5 minutes. We can do this.
I think you safely managed 10 V-ups.
Right, 10.
Here we go, and a speciality. 5, 6, you're gonna finish them all. 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yay.
Well done, that was the time. Well, 5:24.
Well done.
Well done, teammates.
Keep
Very
going,
good.
guys. If you haven't finished yet, just keep
30
going.
seconds
Got 30
remaining on the
seconds.
clock. Squeeze the last few reps. Every rep counts this point.
It does indeed.
If we're doing this in a class, then we would give you guys a penalty of time for every rep remaining at the end of the session.
Oh, last 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Hang on, team. We're
Oh,
very
comes
close.
last 10.
Final 10 seconds, athletes. In 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Good job. You guys get virtual high fives. Well done.
That was good.
Yeah, nice one again. Good chipper.
Cool down.
Have a little cool down. So today we've worked through quite a lot of abs, so we're going to give you some stuff for the abdominals. All this midline's going to call a bit tired. Still arms again, a little bit tired from yesterday.
And glutes, maybe.
And your butt. Butt's a bit sore. Okay, so let's start with the butt. We'll start with the bottom, literally the bottom.
Yep.
And work up. So we went through this one last week. We're going to pop an ankle on top of the knee.
Do it this way.
And we're going to pull.
Sorry, my mic's in the way.
Again, some of you might want to do this against the wall. You could put your foot on a wall and do the same thing with the foot on a wall. I get lectured doing it on a chair.
Shock.
So I go ankle on knee and lift my foot up. So there's two things happening here. I'm stretching my glutes. I'm also stretching through my hips.
Make sure to switch sides.
So again, this kind of stuff, we'd say about a minute's worth of work. Any of you that follow us on Facebook, you can go onto our Facebook page, our main page, and you'll see a whole sequence of stretches specific for this kind of stuff. With this kind of stretch, again, as we said before, be a bit cautious with this knee angle. Don't want to create too much pressure on that knee. It's like a half lotus position for those that do yoga.
Okay.
So I think we'll roll onto our front to do a cobra style movement. So Anna's simply going to pop the elbows on the ground and just lift up from there. If we had a wall, we could slide ourselves up against the wall, and I can enhance this stretch by getting Anna to bend her legs as well. So it becomes even harder. I'm going to go to the harder version. I'm going to come up onto my hands.
So what I'm doing, I'm actually pushing my hands into myself to really stretch these
And the same with the hips
abdominals
down towards the floor, so I'm pushing my hips into the ground. Again, we'd hold this again for about a minute, a little bit longer maybe. The key thing is obviously not compressing your back, so making sure your back's not being squashed.
We want it to be a minimum of 30 seconds, don't we?
Yeah,
With
ideally.
these kind of stretches.
Very slowly coming up. I think we'll pull the arm across the body today. So we get to that upper back, the deltoids and rhomboids.
Not holding the joint though. You don't want to.
So there is definitely a hinge.
Yeah.
So I'm holding mine a little bit higher up above my elbow, whereas Anna's pulling a little bit further down. She's probably a bit more mobile than this than I am. We might even give you a demonstration of the rhomboid stretch I tried yesterday. Looking like a lunatic in the garden for about 15 minutes yesterday.
It's a good stretch. That was a good stretch.
Nice one. Yeah.
Especially after those tabletops today.
Yeah. So the tabletop, we can utilise that as a stretch as well. We can sit on our butts, pop those fingers behind, and just very slowly slide your butt away from your hands.
Oh yes, I can feel that.
So this is pectorals, a bit of your chest, a bit of the deltoids, the muscles in the front of your shoulder.
So we definitely need this stretched after yesterday, don't we?
Yeah. A bit of your biceps, a little bit into the forearms as well. Feels good?
Feels good.
Excellent. Slowly come back. I think we are done for the day. Good work, team. So again, like yesterday, send us your sweaty first session selfies if you've joined us for the first time today. You can always backtrack and double check on the other movements that we've done in the previous weeks or previous sessions.
Yeah, so if you missed yesterday's session, it's all up there for you to go and rewatch. If you missed how we taught the press up, And hopefully today you learned a little bit more to add on to that. So we really focused on building some strength today to really help strengthen that position.
Yeah. And if you want another workout, obviously you can go back through and do our Captain Tom Moore workout from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was a good challenge.
But if not, we're going to see you again tomorrow for more of the same.
We have.
And we're going to work on a few more skills.
Have fun, team. A great day. Virtual high fives to you all. See you tomorrow.
Well done, guys. Bye.